Privacy, Theft, and Whistleblowing, Chapter 4. Chapter Checklist. Understand the employee's motives for invading the privacy of employees. Appreciate the employee's rationale for objecting to invasion of privacy. Learn whether an employee's action falls within one of the definition categories of invasion of privacy, and distinguishing between an opinion and a defamatory statement. Privacy Act. The Privacy Act of 1974 was enacted to safeguard the privacy information of federal employees from being disclosed by the federal government. Under the Act, no information pertaining to an employee may be released prior to the written consent of an employee having been obtained. Employee phone conversations. Employers may record the telephone conversations of their employees. However, they may listen only to contents of the business calls for quality control purposes. Employers may note the frequency and duration of personal use, but they may not listen to the conversation. Employee phone conversation continued. Title III of the Anubis Crime Control and Safe Street Act of 1968, aka the Federal Wiretap Action, prohibits employers from listening to the private telephone conversations of their employees and or from publicly disclosing the content of these conversations. Privacy, Theft, and Whistleblowing, Chapter 4. Employee email continued. However, there are 3 exceptions that apply to employers who want to intercept employees' email. 1. Consent by the employee to monitoring. 2. Where the employer is provider of the email. And 3. For the ordinary course of business. Privacy Act. The Privacy Act of 1974 was enacted to safeguard the privacy information of federal employees from being disclosed by the federal government. Under the Act, no information pertaining to an employee may be released prior to the written consent of an employee having been. Defamation. Defamation is a false statement communicated to at least one other person, orally or in a permanent form such as writing, that causes harm to a third person's reputation. Types of defamation. Slander. Slander is an oral defamation. Slander is usually temporary and limited to a range of a person's voice, except when an oral statement is recorded. Libel. Libel is a written defamation. Libel is accountable without proof of special damages because of a written remains in essence and could be distributed widely. Truth and malice. Truth. Truth is an absolute defense to defamation when statement made is fully true. Malice. Malice is the making of a false statement with the intent to injure others. Conversion. Conversion is the unlawful taking of personal property from the possession of another. It is converting of another property for one's own use. Privacy Act. The Privacy Act of 1974 was enacted to safeguard the privacy information of federal employees from being disclosed. Whistleblowing. Whistleblowing is a notification by an employee to manage about a coworker's unlawful activities or to the appropriate federal and state agencies about an employer's illegal activities. Whistleblowers may be heroes in the movies, but they are often treated with disdain by management and coworkers for the distribution they cause. Whistleblower Protection Act. The Whistleblower Protection Act of 1989 was enacted to safeguard workers who reported major violations of the law from being discharged or otherwise retaliated against by their employers.